everyone. I'm Stephanie Wilson, and I'm going to walk you through the assignment over Reconstitution of Lemonade. I am taking it as a bonus assignment. If you want to earn some bonus points, I strongly encourage you to do it. It's also another way to demonstrate that you understand the process. So when you log into our course shell, click on the modules page, and then scroll down to the module section 7, which has the reconstitution of injectables and non-injectables. This is actually a non-injectable assignment. Click on the reconstitution of lemonade. Okay, so at the beginning here, it says watch this lecture video before you start the assignment. So it's I strongly recommend it, okay? And I apologize in those videos. I didn't smile. So I apologize, guys. Anyway, so in part 1, I'm actually talking about the part 1 of doing reconstitution, where we're just talking about the parts of the strength of the actual non-injectable. And if you ever see the word PART in the actual question that you're solving this with, that means this here applies. And I do want you to understand it, so you are going to do that in the work. And I'm going to go over the document here in just a little minute. Part 2 here is where we actually solve for what is a solution in milliliters, what is the solute in milliliters, what is the solvent in milliliters. So remember that our end answer for all of them has to be in milliliters in part 2. And this also walks you through the process of doing it. And then part 3 here is the outcome when we get to drink our solution. This last video here, the last example of videos is just working out some problems to help you understand how to solve a non-injectable reconstitution problem. So definitely check that out if you're struggling, or just check it out. Just make sure you understand it. All right, so the next part here is the actual bonus assignment. So if you click on the reconstitution solution, this is the PowerPoint, and it goes through and explains to you, here is the solute, which is my lemonade. Here is on the label, this is the country time label where it's telling you 2 tablespoons goes for 12 fluid ounces, and here's more if you want to do a quart, and so on. This also breaks down the parts, part 1 that I was talking about. It has some helpful information in the glue. Definitely read that. And then the solvent is my water. So here explains that. The diluent, again, water. So it's explaining to you why we will dump out some of the water. Well, think about it. If I have a water bottle and I start putting stuff in it, it's going to overflow. So definitely check that out. Solution is my drink. I get to drink the product. Yum. And then expectations and conclusions. So definitely take the moment to read those. And then this last page here is a conclusion discussion. So we will get to that. All right. So this next one here is your actual paper that you're going to want to have when you're working it out. I also was very helpful to give you an example. If you dump out 2 fluid ounces, then you'll end up with 10, and how to find how many tablespoons that would be per 10 fluid ounces. So that was an example. You may want to dump out 3. You may have a 16.9 fluid ounces. So whatever you're working with, you may use an 8-ounce glass. Whatever you choose to use, remember those numbers will be different. The only number be the same is whatever you find. So if you go get Kool-Aid and you use Kool-Aid to be the reconstitution, that's fine. If you get a frozen grape stuff, or they get the frozen grape juice or frozen orange juice or strawberry juice, and use that as your base to do your reconstitution with, you can do that well. But remember, those numbers will stay the same off the package that we're going to apply. Here it says 2 tablespoons over 12 fluid ounce, which we saw it on the PowerPoint. So what you're going to do is you're going to list your items here. You're going to list your items on this first space. And you're going to solve. I would strongly solve. Well, first things first, list what you're going to have here. What are you using? What are you working with? What is the measurements for them? And then over here it says what parts. It's ratios. So that's part 1 video that I gave you where we're solving for the parts of the strength. So definitely watch that and solve it here. So that's going to be what you're going to do here. And you can use the bottom part of this for part 2 solving because it goes into that. Sorry, guys. There we go. And then this next one, let it load. Apologize, it might take a minute. All right, this one here is like your guideline if it will help you, it's telling you the process. You started out with how many fluid ounces? I started out with 12. I subtracted 2, gave me 10 total. The recommendation for the country time that I used was this 2 tablespoons per 12 fluid ounces. So now I have to figure out, based on my 10 fluid ounces, how many tablespoons am I going to use? And then once I get that figured out, and you'll see that in part 2 of that video, once I get that figured out, I'm like, oh, okay, so I got a quarter teaspoon or a half teaspoon. So I'm going to have to convert from tablespoons to a smaller teaspoon. So you need to circle which one of these are using. And I'm strongly recommending you to do that because I want you to demonstrate that you understand the conversion process. And then you can calculate your work here. If you already got it written on the other paper, then write your answer here, okay? And then the last, we're going to shake that drink out, stir it up however you want, and we're going to drink it. We're going to try it out. And we're going to ask ourselves, was this drink too strong? If it was too strong, we can add water to it, right? And make it great. So, because it's, and I wanted you to say what happens. But so usually if it's lemonade, it's going to be like really sour. So anyways, you can explain that. But in the real world, if you're giving medicine and you're giving too much medicine, well, let me just say this. There is no going back once you give the medicine. And if you give too much, you're going to overdose the patient. You can hurt them. You can kill them. And it's not just affecting that patient, which is very sad. That is something that you will mentally struggle with. But you're also affecting their family, everyone that cares for them. And you're also affecting your life because now you're going to be held accountable because what you did. And then your family is going to suffer the consequences. So there's no going back. If it's too strong on lemonade, we can add water and it's an easy fix. But in the real world, when you start giving out medicine, there's a set of rules we follow for a reason. The rounding rules we follow for a reason. So it's important. Number 2, was the drink too weak? If it's too weak, just add more lemonade and we get it just like we like it. But in the real world, if the medicine's too weak, this patient's not getting well. They're staying sick longer. It can get worse because it's not doing them any good. And if the drink is just right, then that tells me 1, you either like really sour drinks, or 2, you followed the rules. You obeyed the rounding rules. You gave what you're supposed to give. You evaluated. Remember, if anything's not right in medicine, you always go back to whoever wrote it. You have the power to say, wait a minute, this is not right. I need clarification, or I don't understand what's here, or hey, this is too much. This doesn't work. So you have this opportunity. So I wanted you to use this assignment to let you, 1, demonstrate how you reconstitute using something that we see on a daily basis. So either you see tea, or you see Kool-Aid, or you see lemonade. And also I wanted you to demonstrate your ability to actually do the process of the reconstitution. If you have any questions, please holler at me. Thank you.